I am starting your lecture number 13 for the application of fat as a VVR. Last time we have seen the fat is used as a VVR in a automatic gain control circuit, and also we have seen voltage control attenuator. Today we will see the fat as a chopper DC amplifier. So you can say the title of the topic is fat as a VVR in a chopper DC amplifier. That we will see today. So first we will see the circuit diagram in a what the circuit diagram of the field effect transistor as a VVR in a chopper DC amplifier. And while I am drawing the circuit, we will understand the function of each component. We want to amplify the small DC voltage. The DC voltage which is of the order of millivolt. So that I am showing you. This is your V in. I am showing you. This you want to amplify. First, with the help of the fat as a VVR, will convert this DC voltage into the AC signal. See, this is your extreme level of the VVR we are using. With the help of negative square wave applying to the gate of the fat, this DC is converted into AC at the output of this fat. Here you will get such kind of the waveform. This voltage is nothing but the V in. This voltage you will get nothing but the V in. This is called sampling frequency. This is called sampling frequency or chopping signal or chopping frequency. The frequency of this signal will be nothing but that depends upon the sampling frequency. So with the help of this negative going square wave, this small DC voltage is converted into AC. So this section is called chopper. This section is called chopper. Now, so what is the function of this? This function block the DC, allow only AC. This output AC is amplified by fat amplifier that I am showing you here. This section work as a amplifier. This sometimes they are showing the variable for changing the gain. For changing the gain, it is kept variable. Here they are giving some voltage VDD or VCC you can write, and at this point you will get amplified signal. You will get amplified signal like this. See, our title is, remember, chopper DC amplifier. We want to amplify the small DC voltage here, okay, with the help of the entire section. So in this section, first what we did, this V in we have converted into AC, and this AC is amplified with the help of this amplifier. Fat here work as a amplifier. Now after this, I am using a rectification, shunt rectifier I am using here. Shunt rectifier and filter circuit I am using to get your DC output voltage. This is your shunt rectifier and filter circuit to get DC output voltage, and you will get here the amplified DC output. This your means here after this you can say here negative will be clipped by this negative portion of this AC signal, negative part of this AC signal will be bypassed through this, you will get positive voltage here, and it will be nothing but it will be by capacitor filter you will get your DC output voltage. So here if you want to show, I can show like this. Here is your small DC, and this is nothing but it is filter. It is what filter by the capacitor. This is a filter by the capacitor, and you will get the DC output voltage. So this circuit is called FET, as a VVR is working in this circuit, but the circuit name is called chopper DC amplifier. So listen, I am discussing this topic. Look here. This is your coupling capacitors, only to block the DC and allow the AC. See here, in this circuit, FET work as a extreme VVR. In this, the DC input voltage is converted into AC with the help of chopper, or you can say this chopping. It is called chopping. This V chopped by the negative going square wave is given to the gate of the first section. So in this first section work as a chopper. Chopper means that convert DC into AC, and the output of this chopper voltage is nothing but the V in, and the frequency of this depending upon the sampling frequency or chopping frequency here, whatever frequency you are in 1 kilohertz, 1.5 kilohertz, that depends upon this. So when negative, you know, this FET does not conduct, you will get maximum output voltage. When plus means 0, you will get what? Here 0 output voltage. So for negative going square, negative, you know, FET does not conduct. So here at this point your voltage is this voltage V in. But when this conducts, maximum voltage drop here, you will get 0 voltage. So in this way you can get here the AC signal from this DC V in. This is we have discussed, this is very small. We want to amplify this small DC input voltage. So this is to be amplified by FET amplifier. Here FET work as a amplifier. Here you can say FET work as a amplifier. This is a FET amplifier. And after amplifications, this is demodulation process, you can also say. This is shunt rectifier is used, in which negative half will be what rectification takes place, and you will get only positive half, and it is filtered by the capacitor, and you will get your DC output voltage. You may have question, this sir, can you use this signal to amplify? Can you use the op-amp to amplify the signal? No, you cannot use generally op-amp. Reason is that op-amp error offset voltage is of the order of millivolt. So generally it is not advisable to use the op-amp. Here, when the output of the V in, so this is V in is nothing but you can say output of the thermocouple, and this thermocouple output is of the order of microvolt or millivolt, and that will be amplified by the signal, and it can be reached to the readable level with the help of this chopper DC amplifier. Now you have to remember one Shannon theorem is there. In Shannon theorem is it mentioned, if this is variable with time, if this is vary with time, then frequency of this sampling, the frequency of should be sampling should be greater than the maximum frequency component of the V in. Means I am writing the if V in is a function of time, then sampling frequency should be greater or equal to, twice the maximum frequency component of V in. This statement is called Shannon theorem. This is called Shannon theorem. With the help of this variable pod, you can adjust the gain of the amplifier. This is the discussion of the FET as a VVR in a chopper DC amplifier. Now next application of FET as a VVR we are discussing. This is the first we are discussing here. Now second discussion, FET as a VVR, in a DC voltmeter. Look here, says you are using the DC voltmeter. The advantage of using the FET in a DC voltmeter is the resistance, input resistance of the DC voltmeter will be very large. I am showing you the circuit diagram of the DC voltmeter. Look here. Here I am using a bridge. You must be knowing the bridge as a 4 branch. So I am using a bridge of the bridge is a main part of the circuit. Here we have used your P channel FET, and in a one branch we have connected FET. Let us say its resistance is what? Is offer resistance R1. Okay. This, let us say in second branch it is what? R2. It is third branch I am writing R3. Fourth is R4. Okay. Here I am connecting the supply. I am connecting the supply voltage. Now this is the probe, you can say. Probe. One probe, this is another probe. Now look here. Here I am showing you just to adjust for the adjustment of the zero. Will here keeping a one potentiometer. And keep a one potentiometer. Let it say this is your R5, this is R6. For zero adjustments I am using this. Okay. Here for a protection of the meters, we are, this is used for the protection of the meter. So this meter I will show you. This is your meters. With the help of this you can measure your voltage. Now let me say this point is nothing but the A point. Let me say this point is nothing but the B point. Here I am writing. Okay. Now I am starting the discussion of the circuit. Okay. In fact, in the above circuit, this circuit, here FET is used as a VVR. In this circuit, in a one branch field effect transistor is used, one branch of the bridge, there is a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in a one branch of the bridge, we have used a FAT. Set the input sections, we have used the FAT. So as you use the word FAT here, the input resistance of the voltmeter will be very large. Here also capacitor is connected. If the AC is coming, then AC. If the here only AC, DC both is giving, so AC will be bypass here, so it does not disturb your calibration. Now, so this is here is used as a FAT in a one branch. As a result, the input resistance of DC voltmeter will be very large. Now let us discuss how you can do the work here. When you have not given any voltage between these 2 points, when you have not given any voltage between these 2 points, then this meter should show the 0. The meter should show the 0 reading. Suppose this meter is not so, sir, why meter show the 0 reading? Because bridge should be balanced. When no signal is given, bridge should be balanced. Means potential at A and potential at B should be equal. It should be equal. It should be equal when no voltage is given between these 2 points, red and black probe. Sir, it is 0. It's okay. Sir, it is not show the 0. Suppose this meter does not show the 0, then with the help of the resistor R6, with the help of the potentiometer at R6, you have to adjust the 0 volt. So by adjusting R6 potentiometer, you can keep your meter reading 0 when input is not given. Okay. So as a result, your potential at A and potential at B will be equal, and your meter show the what? 0. Now, suppose you have given the voltage here, DC voltage is given. Sir, I want to design a for 1 volt. Just to explain you, I am taking. I want to design this voltmeter which measure up to 1 volt. Then I have to give here, I have to give the 1 volt from calibrated voltage source. So from calibrated voltage source, if you give the 1 volt, then this should show the full scale deflection, because you want to measure the 1 volt, means this should show how much full scale deflection. Sir, it shows the full scale deflection. It's okay. Sir, it is not showing the full scale deflection. Then, with the help of this potentiometer, with the help of the potentiometer R5, you have to keep your full scale deflection. So with the help of the R5, you can adjust your full scale deflection when you have given the 1 volt. Right? Now this meter is ready to measure the voltage between 0 to 1. Between what I am using? Between 0 to 1. When 0, it shows the 0. When it is 1 volt, it shows the 1. In this way, you can calibrate, and you can, this is for 0 adjustment, you can say. This is for 0 adjustment, you can say. This is for calibrating 1 volt. Now, suppose someone say, sir, by mistake, instead of 1 volt, you have connected here 10 volt, then what will happen? If you have connected 10 volt here, then this meter will be damaged. So to avoid that problem, this diode is connected between this. So by mistake you have connected 10 volt, then excessive charge will be passing through this what? Excessive voltage passing through the what? PN junction. This will conduct. As this will conduct, so excessive charge will be passing and excessive voltage will pass, and this meter will be safe. By mistake, to measure the what? 1 volt, by mistake you have connected to the 10 voltage source, then this will be damaged. to avoid that, the excessive voltage will be passing through this, and this become forward bias, and it is passing through this, and the meter will be safe. Now suppose someone say, sir, I want to measure the 10 volt, what should I do? If you want to measure the 10 volt, then you have to connect such a attenuator circuit, and you have to design this attenuator resistor in a such a way that here you will get only 1 volt, and that 1 volt will come here. So this scale measure in a scale of 1 volt, but it is to be multiplied by 10. So you must have seen the multiplication factor knob in a meter. So to measure the higher scale, such attenuator network should be connected. Now this is already explained you why C is connected. If AC is coming, AC plus DC, then this AC will be bypassed. Suppose someone says, sir, I want to measure the AC voltage, then what should I do? If you want to measure the AC voltage, then first AC voltage is to be rectified, and it is converted into DC, and that DC signal is given to this, that DC voltage is given to this, and from the DC meter you can measure AC, but DC range should be calibrated in terms of the AC voltage. In this way you can use FAT as a VVR in a voltmeter. Here is, I have discussed the second application of FAT as a VVR. Right? Now third I want to discuss. Now we are discussing a last topic in this field effect transistor chapter. The topic name is FAT diode, or another name is known as a current regulating diode. Current regulating diode. In short, it is known as a CRD. Let us see its basic construction. This is your cross-sectional view of a N-channel depletion type field effect transistor. You know this. This is your base or substrate on which you are fabricating your field effect transistors, and this is your channel. This is your gate. This is drain, this is source. If internal short is provided between gate and source, then you are having only two terminal. And this structure is considered as a field effect diode. This is the anode, this is your cathode. Current will flow like this. Okay, so this is your anode portion, this is your cathode portion, like this. So this is a symbol of the field effect transistor diode. In short, it is called FAT diode, or it is known as a CRD. This is the current regulating diode. Means if voltage across the anode and cathode is changing over more than 100 volt, even though is current passing through the diode remain constant. I am showing you the characteristics of FAT diode. It is like this. This is known as a knee voltage, and this is your breakover voltage. Means between the knee voltage and breakover voltage, current passing through this CRD remain constant. This is the important property of the current regulating diode. So in a current regulating diode or FAT diode, you have to keep anode cathode voltage more than the pinch off voltage. More than the pinch off voltage, you will keep the anode cathode voltage more than the pinch off voltage, and the current passing through this diode remain constant over knee voltage and below breakover voltage. This value is of the order of 100 volt. Sometime more than 100 it is there, 100 volt. And in they are specific, they are giving its impedance. Its impedance is very large. Its impedance is of the order of the 25 mega ohm. So this is just I am writing for some CRD, but let me say it is better to say its impedance is of the order of mega ohm. It is of the order of how much? Mega ohm means it is very large, and current passing through this it is always constant between these two, you can say between knee voltage and breakover voltage. And its equivalent circuit, if you want to see the equivalent circuit, is represented by this. This is your ZT, it is impedance, and this is capacitance CT. It is of the order of PF. This of the order of PF. This is of the order of PF. This is of the order of mega ohm, and this is in milliampere. In market, from 0.2 milliampere to 5 milliampere CRD is available. So main benefit of this is current is constant over some wide range of the voltage, so it behaves as a constant current source. And this property can be used in a voltage regulator circuit. See, we are showing the two voltage regulator circuit, one circuit with the help of Zener and is conventional resistance RS, series resistance RS, and another circuit I am showing you Zener and CRD. Let us see the two circuit and see which kind of the advantage you are getting. So you see the circuit of you see the characteristics of a FAT diode and see the characteristics of a Zener diode. In Zener diode, voltage is constant over a wide range of the current. Remember, voltage is constant over a wide range of current, and here current is constant over a wide range of voltage. Both is reverse. So let us use the combination of Zener and CRD to get a constant voltage. I think you understand. Again, I am repeating the sentence. In a Zener diode, in Zener diode characteristics, let me show the Zener diode characteristics. This is a Zener diode characteristics, I versus V. So you can see here like this, over some constant, over some wide variation of current, you will get a constant voltage. Wide variation of current, you will get a constant voltage in a Zener. See, if you see in this CRD diode, you are getting the constant current over a wide range of voltage, right? So let us use CRD in a voltage regulator circuit. So I am showing you the two circuit for comparisons. Look here, this is your circuit diagram of a series with a series resistance Zener voltage regulator circuit. This I am showing you delta V, V in voltage, the Zener VZ, and here I am showing you V out. This is your current, I total current I am showing you here. Now you know that is the resistance of the Zener, I am writing ZZT, it is dynamic resistance. See the another circuit with CRD instead of RS series resistor, I am using a CRD. See this circuit, CRD with Zener diode to get the constant voltage. See the advantage that I am discussing with you now. Suppose there is a change in the input voltage. If the input voltage change, then output voltage change in this circuit in a Zener with RS. If you change in what V in, how much change in V out, that you can write with the help of this equation. It is nothing but change in output voltage due to change in the input voltage is given by change in input voltage multiplied by impedance of Zener upon total impedance. You already know the voltage divider equation, right? Now look here, the change in the output voltage in the second circuit in a CRD circuit with Zener. So in this change in the output voltage, you can write it is due to change in input voltage is nothing but a change in input voltage multiplied by impedance of the Zener upon impedance of CRD plus impedance of Zener. Look here, what is the advantage you are getting? You must be knowing this value RS is of the order of few hundred ohms, or you can say 1000 ohms, but this is of the order of the what? Few hundred ohms. The change in output voltage is more. Change in output voltage is more here. But you see in this circuit with CI in a CRD circuit, ZT is a impedance of CRD, and we know the impedance of CRD is of the order of mega ohm. It is of the order of mega ohm. As a result, the change in output voltage will be very less. So you will get this one advantage. Even the input is changing, the change in output voltage is very less. Now, this change in the input voltage depends upon how much voltage can be absorbed by the CRD. Here, second advantage I am discussing, the change in the input voltage, what is the maximum limit of the change in input voltage? That depends upon how much maximum voltage can be absorbed by CRD. But in the RS Zener circuit, it is not like this. Maximum change in the input voltage depends upon the power dissipation capability of RS and the power rating of Zener. So these two advantages there. So this circuit is more preferable to get the voltage constant if input is there is a wide change in the input voltage, right? Now here is the end of the discussion of this topic. We'll see the numerical base of these two circuit. Let us see the numerical base of this circuit. I think you understand what the advantage. First, this is very few hundred ohm. This is your mega ohms. So change in output voltage in this circuit is more. In this circuit, change in output voltage is less. Second, here the increase in the what in maximum input voltage depends upon the power rating of these two. Here maximum increase, maximum input you can increase in maximum possible increase in the input voltage depends upon the voltage capability drop of a CRD. Okay, here is the end of the discussion of this topic. Let us see the numerical based on this topic. So I am discussing numerical based on this topic. See, already we did the what calculation. I'm showing you the circuit here. See, question like this. Consider current regulator circuit. Current regulator circuit using Zener diode and a series resistor RS as shown in figure. So I am showing you this circuit diagram. So I am showing the circuit diagram RS. This is your Zener. This is your V in I am showing you here, and here some load I am showing you here, IL, and here you are getting V out. This is your VZ I am showing you, and this is your total current IT is nothing but you must be knowing IZ plus IL. Now see what they have given. Here they have given VZ is 18 volt and V in is 30 volt. Now this circuit provides voltage. This circuit provides the voltage. This provides the voltage. This circuit provides the voltage control. Provide the voltage control to a load whose current varies from 0 to 2 milliampere. 0 to 2 milliampere. So when the current is varying from 0 to 2 milliampere in load, you want to get the constant voltage, if they want to say like this. Now first question, and what they V in, they have given 30 volt. This is your 30 volt they have given. This is a 30 volt they have given. First questions I am asking, using a, let me say A, using Zener of 2 milliampere. Remember this means it is they have given Zener current. Zener test current is 2 milliampere. With an average value of the load current, of 1 milliampere, average load current of 1 milliampere, determine the necessary value. Determine the necessary value of series resistor RS. It's very simple, you can say. From the circuit you can say, answer I am discussing answer. V in is nothing but the I total into RS plus VZ. You can simple like this. V in, this voltage is nothing but this voltage plus VZ. This voltage is ISRS, IT into RS plus VS. This is your IT, total current passing to the resistor. Now, what is this? This voltage is what? 30 volt we have written. So from this I can say RS is nothing but you can write V in minus VZ upon I total current. What is I total? Let me write I total is nothing but you can say IZ plus IL. Now already it is mentioned, it is given to you IZ is 2 milliampere, IL is 1 milliampere, total will be 3 milliampere. So it is 3 into 10 raised to minus 3. So if I write this 30 minus 18 upon 3 into 10 raised to minus 3, you will get RS is nearly about 4000 ohm. It is 4 kilo ohm RS you will get. What is the first question? Using Zener of a 2 milliampere, means Zener test current is require how much? 2 milliampere. With an average load current 1 milliampere, determine the value of RS. So this average value is what? 1 milliampere. Okay. So I am writing V in is equal to IT into RS plus VZ. So IT is nothing but IZ plus IL. This current plus this current. This is IZ I should write. So you can write here this equation, this value here put, and this value you can put here. You get your answer is what? 4000 ohm or 4 kilo ohm. So here I am writing I should write connect the 4 kilo ohm. Now let us see the second questions in this B. If Zener dynamic impedance is of the order of 40 ohm. ZZT is called impedance of the zener. Already I told you in the previous slide. If the dynamic impedance of the zener is 40 ohm, determine the change in output voltage if V in increase from 30 volt to 32 volt and second from 30 volt to 60 volt. Look here again. The zener impedance they have given how much? 40 ohm. Now your input voltage is actually how much? See here how much I have written? 30 volt. If this voltage increase from 30 to 32, what the change in output voltage? If this is increased from 30 to 60, what the change in output voltage? That we have to calculate. Look here, how to calculate. It's very easy equation already. We have used this equation for I am writing 30 to 32 volt input voltage. This change in input voltage, I should write delta V in is 2 volt. And already we have written delta V out is nothing but the change in input voltage multiplied by impedance of the zener upon RS plus your ZZT. Already we have written in a previous slide. So if you put this value, if you do the calculation, this is 2 multiplied by 40 upon this is a 4000 plus 40. So you will get, just rough calculation I have done, you do perfectly, 0.20 into 10 raised to minus 3. So I am writing 0.2 millivolt. Okay. Now suppose you are doing a calculation. Suppose now this is a very similar to what this. Similar you can find delta VO out for 30 to how much volt? 60 volt. So delta V in, I should write your here delta V in for second case. This is the first case. Delta V in I should write it is 60 minus 30. I should write 30 volt. So this is a 30 multiplied by 40 upon 4000 plus 40. You will get of the order of 0.3 volt. So if the input voltage changing from 30 volt to 60 volt, your change in output voltage how much? 0.3 volt. If the input voltage changing from 30 to 32 volt, how much your output voltage change? Only 0.2 millivolt from the your desired output 18 millivolt. Now C, this is second question. B we have seen. Now let us see the C. C is determine maximum power dissipations of the zener when diode when V in increases from 30 volt to 60 volt. Means if your input voltage is from 30 to it becomes 60 volt, then what is the maximum power dissipation? So power dissipation formula you know that zener voltage multiplied by the current passing through the zener. Here total current I have to consider, so I should write IT, because this is your circuit diagram. You know this is your circuit diagram. If here current is 0, the maximum current is passing through the zener. So all this current I have to consider is passing here. That's why I am writing I total. So you know the formula, V in is equal to I total into RS plus VZ. This is already you know 60 volt we have taken. IT it is into 4000 ohm. This is your 18 volt. So 18 volt. So I can write total current I will get of the order of 10.59 milliampere. This already I did calculation, so you can check. So 11 milliampere. VZ is nothing but the 18 multiplied by 11 milliampere. I will get of the order of 0.9 198 watt. Yes, 0.9. So you require Zener of the order of 0.2 watt. So in circuit, you have to connect the Zener whose power rating is of the order of how much? You can say 0.2 watt. So this is a simple equation, you know. So here I am taking, though no current is passing here, the total current I have taken how much? By this equation I am calculating. Then you know this is a standard equation. So I am putting this value, you will get your answer. Now, instead of this RS, now I am replacing this RS by CRD. Then what will happen? That is more interesting part. This is replaced by your RS. This RS is replaced by CRD. So look here, the D question I am discussing, question number D. If RS is replaced by CRD, RS is replaced by CRD, number they have given 1N3509, 1N not 35 but 5309, and they have given whose ZT is nothing but the ZT they have given is 300 kilo ohm, and the current passing at this point is 3 milliampere, and maximum voltage it can absorb up to how much? 100 volt. This they have given. They have given the permissible voltage is 5 to 100 volt. This word is very important to understand. Means you have to keep your input voltage more than 5 across anode cathode, and here is how much? It is up to 100. Between these two voltage, your current passing to the CRD is constant, it is 3 milliampere. This is a maximum permissible voltage is given. Maximum permissible voltage is for the CRD. Now, what are the questions? Question: if this is replaced by this, let me replace. I will replace. Okay. This is your VO. CRD. This is a V. Now, if V in increases from 30 to 32 volt, what is change in output voltage? Second, if it is increasing from 30 to 60 volt, what the change in output voltage? So it's very simple equation, already you know. Delta VO out is nothing but the delta V in into Zener resistance or Zener impedance upon ZZT upon ZT plus ZZT. So this is only 2 volt, you know this already we did. This is 40 multiplied by this, how much? Is 300 kilo ohm plus 40, so you will get of the order of 0.2667 millivolt. Now for second, this is for first, this is for second I am doing. For V out, delta V in ZZT upon ZT plus ZZT. So this is nothing but the 30 volt. This is a 40. Already you did, only you are replacing the value of the ZT instead of RS. So I am getting 0.078 volt. So this show that the use of CRD is better because change in output voltage is very small if the input voltage is changing to the higher value. Now see the last questions. What is maximum voltage at the input that the circuit with the CRD can withstand? It's very simple, you can say. CRD permissible voltage is how much? CRD per answer. CRD permissible voltage is nothing but 5 to how much? 100 volt. We can write V in is equal to V CRD maximum plus VZ. So it is how much? This is your 100 maximum plus 18. So you can say 118 volt. So maximum input voltage is nothing but the, you can say, maximum input voltage is nothing but the, you can say, 118 volt. If the input voltage increases up to 118 volt, even though nothing will be worry. At that time, what is the power dissipated in a zener? You can calculate with the help of this. This is how much IZ, VZ, we saw 18, and IZ is, you already know how much, 3 milliampere. So only you require 54 milliwatt power rating of the zener. In previous case, you check, you require you require how much power already you have calculated. 0.2 watt. 0.2 watt zener is required. Here's the zener of how much required, only 54 milliwatt, or you can say 0.054 watt if you want to compare with the previous one. So you can say this is much better than this, right? Here is your end of the today lecture.